Ha ha! What's up, y'all? What's goody yuddy yuddy? It's your boy Remo, and I'm back with another video, y'all. Coming out of the darkness. It's kind of late, but I'm at work doing the late shift, and I decided to hit y'all with another video, and it's entitled "Black Women Are the Worst Tenant," Part 6. And this story, I'm gonna tell you all about the tenant that I used to call Big TT. Now her initials was TT. Her first and last name started with a T, so that's what I used to refer to her as, TT. And she had some really big TTs, just like the chick that's in this thumbnail. You know, she had some huge TTs. But yeah, you know, she was a pretty good tenant. She paid her rent on time, and when she moved out, she left the apartment clean. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know, she moved in. I put her on a month-to-month lease. After that chick that looked like Simone Biles, I started putting these chicks on month-to-month leases. So that way, you know, if they don't pay their rent this month, they can move out next month. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you know, this chick, she had a daughter, but her daughter was in her early 20s. You know, this chick was probably like in her early 40s. And all this happened like 2 years ago. And her and her daughter didn't really get along. Her daughter wasn't really there that much. She stayed with her father or whatever. Now, Big TT made pretty good money. She drove like a Buick Enclave or something like that, or a Buick Encore, one of those nice Buicks. And she had it all hooked up. And, you know, when I first met her, you know, she came over to, you know, she had the money in hand and everything. And, you know, she told me a little bit about herself. And she said that her ex-boyfriend was in jail or something like that. He just got out, and she was trying to stay away from him. So she moved on this side of town, you know, where I live. You know, she lived clear across town. She wanted to move as far away from him as possible because she claimed he was a PTSD military vet or something like that. And he was crazy and all this shit. I'm like, oh, okay. All right. And she was like, he was in and out of jail because he had a bad temper and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, all right, cool. I said, long as he don't come over here. She was like, nah, he ain't gonna never find out where I live. I said, oh, okay. All right. Okay, cool. Because if he come over here, I got something for his ass. So I ain't tell her that, but this is what I was thinking. I'm thinking like, yeah, I got something for his ass. He come over here and try some crazy shit. So then she was like, yeah, I can move in on the 1st if I pay you that. I was like, yeah. So she moved in on the 1st, and you know, 2 months went by. I would see her here and there. She moved in like the month of April. So I didn't really see her until it started getting warm around June. So like around the 4th of July, I saw her one day. It was hot as hell. It was like 90-something degrees outside. It was hot. And my car was in the shop because I had a leaky radiator. So I had to walk I could have called an Uber, or I could have got a ride. But it was a nice day. It was hot. I said, well, let me walk. Because, you know, when you drive for a living and you drive back and forth to work, you don't really walk that much. So I said, let me walk. It's a nice day. So I started walking, and Big TT pulled me over. She pulled over to the side of the road and asked me where was I going and where's my car. I was like, my car in the shop at such and such. She was like, come on, I'll give you a ride. I was like, okay. Now when I got in the when I sat in the passenger seat, it was a bra on the floor. You know, a big bra. It looked like a fishnet. I thought she was going smelting. You know, smelt them little fish. You take the net, you scoop them right up. That's what I thought it was. It was a motherfucking bra, yo. I thought it was a goddamn fishnet. So, and it was green like a damn fishnet too. I was looking, so I didn't know what it was. I thought, I get in your car. If I get in your car and something on the floor, I'm gonna move it out the way out of respect. So I picked it up, and I'm like, she was like, you can put that in the back. She didn't say it was a bra or nothing, but when I put it in the back, that's when I noticed. You know, I noticed it was a damn bra, and so, you know, she was like, yeah, thanks. She was like, She was like, most people just get in your car and step all on your shit. I was like, yeah, I hate when people do that, which I do. So she dropped me off at the auto shop, got my car. And when I came home, I was in the backyard watering my garden. And then she came out back with no bra on. She had on a t-shirt, and you could damn near see through it. And she was like, ooh, it is hot out here. She was like, it is hot. She was like, oh, I didn't even know you was back here. She was like, I ain't got no bra on or nothing. I was like, hey, it's hot. I was like, I said, I understand because, you know, I used to hear my girl, you know, you got sisters, you hear your sisters complaining about that shit too. You know, women don't like wearing bras, especially when it's hot outside, you know. So I was like, hey, you know, I made her feel comfortable. I was like, hey, it is what it is. You at home, you know, and I'm looking like, damn, she got some huge knockers. But anyway, so one night I'm at work, and my girl called me and was like, she looked out the window and somebody was walking around our house. She said some tall, light-skinned, bald-headed nigga was walking around our house, hiding in the bushes. I was like, what? She was like, yeah. She was like, I started to call the police on him. I was like, what you do? She said, my girl said she yelled out the window, but the blinds was closed. Like the window was open and the blinds was closed. She peeked out the blinds and said, get the fuck from in my backyard or something like that. And so the dude took off running. And I was like, he was in our backyard? She was like, yeah. She was like, he was snooping around too, like he was looking for something. And then she was like, I don't know who or what he was looking for. My girl was like, but it made her feel really uncomfortable. So when I got home the next day, I had asked Big TT, did she see anybody snooping around? Because remember, she told me that her boyfriend was crazy and all this stuff like that. She was like, oh, I hope it wasn't my ex-boyfriend. She was like, because he used to do that at my old apartment. You know, she was like, he's a stalker. You know, he can't accept rejection. And he got PTSD. He got mental issues. And like, she was damn near in tears when she was telling me this. She was like, but I don't know how he would find out where I live, you know, because she was like, she didn't tell him or nobody he knew. And I was like, oh yeah, well, yeah, my girl said somebody was snooping around the house. She was like, I was like, yeah, if you know, if it's him, you got to tell him, yo, don't be snooping around, you know, my house. You know what I mean? Because, you know, you got neighbors. You know what I mean? And then she was like, are you armed? I was like, yeah. And then she was like, okay. She was like, I hope it wasn't him. And she was like I said the other day, she was like, I'm sorry, I came outside. She just went on an apologizing tour. She just started apologizing for X, Y, and Z. And then she was like, well, I hope y'all ain't scared. I said, oh, we ain't worried about that. And she was like, she said, when you say we, who is we? I said, me, Smith, and Wesson. And she thought about it. And then she started laughing. I was dead serious. I said, me, Smith, and Wesson ain't worried about that. So I found that in the back of my mind. And then sometime later, I'm laying on the couch and I hear banging on my door. I mean, I was half asleep. Because that's what I do. I lay on the couch, watch a movie. I was half asleep. I hear banging. I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, so I look out the front window and I see it's a bald head, light skinned dude. He was banging, boom, boom, boom. Motherfucker looked crazy. He had on them thick glasses. Looked like he had on them prison glasses. Banging on the boom, 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 boom. So I grabbed my 9. It was laying on. It was hanging. It was like hanging on the side of my table because it was still in the holster. I had it hanging on the side of my coffee table. You know, so I grabbed my 9. I went out the side door. And so he was still knocking on the door when I got to the front, but he didn't see me. So and he looked, he was like, oh, and then he jumped over the porch, ran into the street, and he got hit by a white dude on a Veo bike. You know, one of them green Veo bikes that they be riding, them scooters? He got hit by one of them. He lucky it wasn't a fucking car. So when he got hit, he fell real hard. And I guess he fractured his hip. Now the white dude on the Veo bike, he fucked up his shoulder. He fucked up his elbow and his shoulder. And so the white dude called the ambulance. He was laying on the ground. He called the ambulance. I'm standing there with the gun like, who the fuck is you? Dude, the stalker dude was looking at me Like, he was like, who are you? I was like, who the fuck is you? You coming over how you gonna come over somebody's house, banging on the door and asking who the fuck they are? And so then my girl came out. She was like, what happened? And then he was like, oh, my bad. I was looking for somebody. I was like, man, you done barked up the wrong tree, dude. I said, don't ever come around here no more. And he was like, what you gonna do, shoot me? I was like, yeah. I was like, fuck around and find out. I was talking all kind of shit. You know, I was intimidating the shit out of him. I was pissed. And so, you know, the ambulance came, and then the next day, Big TT asked me what happened and what the dude looked like. I described. She was like, "Oh man," she was like, "Yeah, that was my ex-boyfriend." She was like, she said her one of her dumbass sisters told him where she lived, and I was like, "Yo, this dude barked up the wrong tree. He was banging on my fucking door." She was like, "Well, he got rearrested because, you know, he had a warrant or some shit. You know, he had a warrant out for his arrest or something like that." And so she got mad at me for pulling the gun out on him. So then she didn't talk to me no more, you know. So, well, she didn't talk to me no more for that time being. So one day I come home from work and there's 3 dudes sitting on her side of the porch. You know, 3 skinny young punks with dreadlocks and hoodies, you know, looking at me. One of them said, "Oh, you do security?" And I was like, something like that. He was like, "You do armed security?" I was like, "Yeah, something like that too." And he was like, he turned up his nose, and then one of them was like, yeah, he's strapped, but that's all right. So I went upstairs and I told my girl, I was like, yo, I don't know who them 3 dudes is. I was like, but I think the chick mad at me because of what went down. You know what I mean? And then my girl was like, she probably still loved her ex-boyfriend or blah, blah, blah. They probably got a roller coaster relationship, and now they want revenge on me. I was like, yeah. I said, me, Smith & Wesson, we can handle this. So I went downstairs and looked out the front window, and the 3 dudes, they was on the porch. They had like one of them Bluetooth speaker radios, and they was listening to Tear the Club or some song like that, where they was dancing, but they was playing with guns. Like they all had guns. And I'm like, okay. I'm looking out the window, so I'm looking out the window watching them do all this bullshit. They got their hoods on with their gun. So I take some picture of them with my cell phone. Then I take a video of them. And then I pull the Charleston White move. I secretly called the police on them. And I explained to the police exactly what they looked like, what they had on. And then I sent the police the video and the picture I took. So they knew exactly who they was looking for. And I was like, these some stupid motherfuckers. I said, they finna go to jail. So then, about 20 minutes later, I look out the window. They still going like this, throwing up gang signs with guns and shit. And I see 3 Mexican dudes with hoodies on come from across the street. I was like, oh gosh. I was like, now they got Mexicans on their team too. So I guess the Mexican dudes asked them where to get some weed or something from. And then I was like, oh gosh. So, next thing you know, I hear, freeze, motherfucker, freeze. Come to find out that the Mexican dudes was police officers. And then like 5 or 6 police cars pulled up. And I'm looking out the window, I'm taking pictures. These dudes, they had the 3 dudes all on the ground and shit. They was like, yeah, he had a weapon, and then like, after about 4 or 5 hours, you know, the police came to my house and they was asking me, was I the one who called the police? I said, yeah, but I want to remain anonymous. They was like, yeah, we traced the photo. The one police officer was like, yeah, you did a good job. He was like, you made our job easier. The one white police officer, he was happy. This dude was happy. You would have thought he won the lottery. He was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, you made our job easier. He was like, we need more citizens like you. He was like, you made our job a hell of a lot easier. He was like, yeah. He was like, this is what I'm talking about. He was like, he said, maybe you should be a police officer. You made our job a lot easier. He was like, you don't understand. He was like, we didn't have to do. He said, we've been looking for one of these guys. He was like, it was a piece of cake. He was like, it was a cakewalk, a walk in the park. You made our job a lot easier. I was like, he kept saying the dude was happy. He was like, yo, them cops be happy to throw your ass in jail. You know, they be extremely happy. Dude, the police officer, he was having an orgasm. Yeah, he was like, yeah, that was a piece of cake. It was like it was a pie in the sky. We just reached to grab these guys. He was just going off. Man, it went on for like 10 minutes. And so come to find out, Big TT had a warrant too. For I found out later it was for unpaid child support or some shit like that. She owed on child support because she had a good job and a nice car, but her and her daughter didn't get along. So her daughter wanted to live with her dad. I guess her dad raised her, and then Big TT never paid child support, and she didn't go to court or some shit like that. You know, this is what she told me when she got out of jail. I think she was in there for like 2 weeks. Now, yeah, when she got out of jail, she told me what happened. I was like, yo, what happened? I said the police was all out here. She was like, oh yeah, those was my boyfriend nephews, and you know, they came over here to get revenge on some nigga around here. And she was like, the nigga called the cops and they all got arrested. I was like, oh wow. I said, did you ever find out who the niggas was? Who the nigga was that they was looking for? And she was like, yeah, it was some Mexican dudes. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, wow. So she told me that's when she told me that she got arrested too because she had a warrant and they was over her house. I was like, damn. I was like, wow. But she was like, yeah, I'm going to move out. She was like, thanks for letting nobody break in my house while I was locked up. I was like, oh yeah. I was like, you know, I said I'm a security officer on and off the job. I said when I'm not working, I'm securing my house. And so the day she was moving, it was a hot sunny day, and once again, she didn't have a bra on. And so when she finished loading up the truck, she came over with them big breasts and hugged me. She was like, thank you for doing all the things you did, and thanks for being such a good landlord. She was like, I'm sorry we had beef. She was like, it was a misunderstanding. It was a misunderstanding. I said, misunderstandings happen. I was like, hey, it is what it is. That was Big TT. I'm telling you, boy. These black female tenants are something else. Now, wait till I tell y'all the story next week about the big booty chick that used to sell dinners out the house. Y'all gonna fall out laughing. Yo, y'all be having me cracking up. I still be reading y'all comments. I'll be falling out laughing. I'll be here at work just reading these comments. I'll be reading the comments like, damn, this motherfucker should be a comedian. I'll be like, damn, this motherfucker being sarcastic. I'll be like, damn, this dude is an asshole. This dude is a dickhead. Y'all be having me cracking up. See, I understand a lot of y'all be going through the same thing. Some of y'all landlords too, or some of y'all know somebody that's a landlord that deal with this kind of shit. All these fucked up ass black female tenants. Boy, they'll drive you crazy. They'll raise your blood pressure. Yeah. All right, y'all. I'll holler at y'all next week. All right.